Hey, it's your buddy Terry here, and it's time to walk it off. Don't you think we need a cheesy start to each episode like that? I'm not so sure we do, but what the hell? I gave it a shot, didn't I? Hey, I want to talk to you about soulmates today. And if there's any subject that I feel that I'm uniquely qualified to discuss, it's soulmates. Why? Today is my 32nd wedding anniversary. And to prove it to you, I just now went out and bought Sherry a gift. Any guy who's been in a relationship for a little while understands what I'm just going through. Let me sit down here for a second, and I chose this place to sit down because I liked it the last time I was here. I liked the background. Anyway, let's talk about soulmates for a second. So many people think there's one person out there for them. And this is going to be shocking for you, coming from a guy who's been married for 32 years now, to tell you that I don't think there's such a thing as soulmates. I think that depending on where you are in your life and depending where that other person is in life, there's always somebody different out there for you. I've just been lucky to keep it going. Sherry and I have just been lucky enough to communicate well enough to where we know each other sits for the last 32 years, where our dreams are, where our frustrations are, all kinds of stuff. So we've been able to keep it going. Do I think it's going to last another year? You don't have a guarantee of anything. Do I hope it does? Absolutely. But I do remember when I first met Sherry, I was in no position to even date. I had no money. I was living in a part of the country that I couldn't stand. The job that I had, I was going to lose. I was just feeling it. It was just a brutal, brutal time. But we met each other, and I decided that I just wanted to be completely honest. I didn't want to put on a front with her. I didn't want to go, well, I've got some land in Maui, and maybe I'll take it. I didn't want to do anything like that. I just told her up front, listen, I was an out-of-work actor. I have shitty credit. I've tried so hard. What I do have is dreams and goals, and I know I'm going to get them. I know I'm going to achieve some great things. And she just kind of sat back. I remember her leaning back in the chair going, really? She kind of smiled like it was refreshing because she's a beautiful woman. She's probably heard all kinds of pickup lines, all kinds of promises, all kinds of things. But I was just completely honest with her. And she leaned back and went, all right, if this continues on, this is something we could work through. I feel confident enough about that. I was like, whoa, who is this girl? At first, I just wanted to hook up with her because she is hot. And guys, you have to remember that when you get married, you are not just marrying a hot piece of ass. You're not marrying somebody who's good in bed. You hope that there's that connection, absolutely. And that's usually the first thing that we're attracted to. We're guys. Girls, you can't lie either. Looks matter to you. Okay, let's just go ahead and have that argument right up in front. But it worked out for us so far. And I just want to remind you guys out there that it's not just a hot piece of ass you're marrying. You are marrying your confidant. You are marrying your nurse. You're marrying your nutritionist, your psychologist, your psychiatrist. You're marrying all of these things that are needed in your life. You're married your partner, the person in jokes that you do jokes with. You're marrying somebody you just hug and cry with. And you know what? And it's not just you, it's not a selfish thing. They are doing the same thing. You have to be all of those things to the person that you're attracted to as well. So there it is. But do I think that there are soulmates out there for each of us? No, I really don't. I think that might be a little false thing. I do think there's very few people that tick all the boxes. I remember dating other women. I was with a lot of other people, you know, and I had a little bit of a past, obviously. But I can honestly say that every person that I was with and everybody that I even fell in love with, I was motivated by them. I was inspired by them. And it all kind of was, you know, I got something out of it. And I hope that they got something out of it as well. I have no ill will or bad feelings about anybody that I've ever dated. And maybe normally here, I think that most people always had some bad breakups. And sure, yeah, if I really think back about it, I had some real emotional times where I was crying and all that kind of stuff. I remember my very first girlfriend. She said that she wanted to get back with her ex-boyfriend, and and I was just joking around with her. She goes, "Hey," I called her up, and I said, "What are you doing?" She goes, "Oh, I'm really horny." And I said, "Oh, I'll be right over." And she goes, "Oh, not with you, with my ex-boyfriend." Now it's a joke. Now it's funny because you know what? I'm happy. I'm happy. Are there always happy times? No, there's not always happy times. There's sad times. And you know what? We are facing a lot of things right now as a couple, Sherry and I are. We have some family and friends who are ill. We know that we are aging as well. We know we're scared. We're scared. Are we going to have enough money to retire? We are going through all of that stuff. Things are not always 100% perfect. But when you have somebody who checks off all these boxes, it just helps. I remember writing down everything I wanted in a woman. This was just before I met Sherry. And I remember when I met her, I started going through my little checklist, and I'm going, "Oh, she checks this, she checks that." And listen, what I wrote down, I know was extremely impossible for anybody to live up to. And I mean, in fact, if I met somebody like this, I would just think it was a joke, okay? But she started ticking off most of these boxes, and I was like, you know what? This is fantastic. And I know that you might think that that's dumb, writing down all these things, but I got to a point in my life where I felt that I deserved better, or I felt that I deserved, if I was going to dedicate myself to a relationship, I deserve at least some of these things that are on this box. So I highly suggest maybe you make a checklist. You're going to feel ridiculous like I did doing it, but do it. And hopefully most of the people will check those boxes off just like Sherry has with me. And Sherry, happy anniversary. I'm heading home right now to act like I surprised you and thought about this all along. And you're going to know I'm lying. You're going to know I'm full of shit. You're going to know that I just scrambled at the last second to get you something. And that's what I love about you. You're going to play it off like I did it. Guys, have a great day. And we'll see you another time here for another Walk It Off.